Bonjour class. This video is focusing on comparing and contrasting DOPs and IOPs and the differences between English and French, and what do we do if we have both a DOP and an IOP in the same sentence. Remember to pause and rewind the video if you need to. Very quickly, just a brief review of DOPs. Remember, they answer the questions who or what. To replace a direct object, we use a DOP that agrees in gender and number. So if it's masculine and singular, we use le, feminine and singular, la. Singular and before a verb with a vowel no matter what gender, l'apostrophe, and plural we use les. And remember, these can replace both people and things. So quickly, an IOP answers the question to whom, and it always has the preposition a plus a person. But there are some verbs in French that take IOPs, but they do not take them in English. So here are three examples, and there's another on your note sheet. For example, téléphoner à, demander à, répondre à. So in French, we say je téléphone à Isabelle. So then we would use the IOP, je lui téléphone. But in English, we don't say I am calling to Isabelle. We just say I am calling Isabelle. So it does not take an IOP in English. Il demande 5 euros à son frère. He asks his brother for 5 euros. Marie répond au prof. Marie answers the teacher. So for these examples in French, we use the IOP. And it's easy to just memorize the verb with the preposition. So téléphoner à, demander à, répondre à. On the opposite side, though, there are some verbs that take DOPs in French, but not in English. So what that means is that the preposition is included in the verb. So, for example, nous attendons ma mère becomes nous l'attendons, even though in English we say we are waiting for my mom. So that for and that to and that at are included in the definition of the verb, and that's the best way to memorize it. So attendre, to wait for. Chercher, to look for. Écouter, to listen to. Regarder, to look at. So you don't need to add a preposition after these verbs, and they take DOPs instead of IOPs. So Thomas cherche son stylo, il le cherche. Leila écoute ses amis, elle les écoute. Kevin regarde Cosette, il la regarde. So now let's take a look at what happens if we have both a DOP and an IOP in the same sentence. And these are some verbs that often do that. So you can pause the video to write these down, because these are verbs that, like I said, can take a DOP and an IOP at the same time. So let's look at some examples. Élise prête son vélo à moi. If we replace both the direct object noun and the indirect object noun with the IOP and DOP, we get the sentence Élise me le prête. Same here. Une photo, the direct object, à un copain, the indirect object. The sentence becomes Christophe la lui donne. And one more. Tu ne montres pas tes notes à tes amis. Direct object noun tes notes, à tes amis, indirect object, becomes tu ne les leur montres pas. So notice that no and the pas, like we've talked about before, goes around both the IOP, the DOP, and the verb. So let's talk about the order that you've seen in these examples. The me, the te, the nous, and the vous, whether it's a direct object pronoun or an indirect object pronoun, comes first, followed by the DOPs, le, la, and les, or the le, la, and les as DOPs come before the IOPs lui and leur in the sentences. So we are going to do some practice. I'd like you to pause the video and rewrite the sentences with both the IOPs and the DOPs using the order that you just saw. Here are the answers. How did you do? Fin. This is a little bit complicated, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, and I'll be giving you lots of practice to improve with this.